So listen, if any of you guys are thinking about doing your own podcast, man, I highly recommend you use Anchor. Anchor.fm. It's free. You know what I mean? It's got all the tools and stuff you need to make your stuff sound spiffy. You know what I mean? It's seamless. It's user friendly. You can record it from your phone. You record it from your computer. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to be on Spotify or Apple Podcast or anything like that, it'll do it for you. You know, you can make some money. You know what I mean? Doing a sponsorship ad and just like something like this. And it's also free. So if you're interested in it, man, you can download the free Anchor app or you can go to anchor.fm. Good luck. All right, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Captain's Log Podcast. I am your host, Boogie, Robert, or Leon, whichever you go by, whichever time period you knew me in. You can catch me on one of them. Checking in with y'all, man. You know, hope everybody had a good weekend. I had the opportunity to go to the track this weekend. So this episode 11 is called Trackday. So, for those who ride, for those who don't ride, for those who don't give a shit, it don't matter. Track day is where I go to, get that itch or scratch my itch. That is, I love motorcycles and I like to go fast. So what better place to go than the track? So me and a couple of the fellas, shout out to Team No Remorse. We went down to NC Bike yesterday, to ride with Evolve GT. Shout out to Evolve GT. Very good organization, man. Just their advertisements, their promotion, all the technology is up to date. Very good coaches. They run smooth track days. I fool with Evolve. So we went down there. It's about a 3.5 hour drive from the island. So once I got off work Saturday, just went ahead and loaded up, and I headed down. So, the drive to any track is kind of it's just a part of the process, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole track day experience from packing up, at the house, to pulling off, to stopping to get gas or junk food or rest area. All of that is a part of the track day experience. I mean, for me, like I said, it's a stress reliever for me, man, because this is one day or maybe two, that, it's just me, it's just the bike, I'm free of any responsibilities, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a husband, I'm not a dad, I'm just a guy in his motorcycle, you know what I'm saying? Temporarily, of course, I love all that. But, you know what I'm saying? We all need a little break sometimes, man. So this is what I do to get my break. So, but because I worked Saturday, I didn't get down there till like 9 o'clock. I didn't get to NC Bike till 9 o'clock. NC Bike is in Garyburg. So as soon as you pass the North Carolina state line, it's probably like the second exit. You know what I mean? Come off, it's, your food, your gas, you get your ice and all that. It's right there. So, I pull up, and this was a 2-day event. But since my little leave is low, I can't do any Saturdays until next year. So I was like, fellas, we can do this Sunday, man. It'd be straight. So we did the Sunday. I pulled up and the paddock was packed, man. So pulling the paddock area, just for everybody set up. They set up in their RVs or their mobile homes, or some people might have their tents on the ground. Like me, I have a tent that fits in my pickup truck right in the back. Sits perfectly. It's my little mini hotel. You know what I mean? So I'm the last one out of the rest of the guys to get there. So that means is I got to set everything up in the dark, which is fine. But them bugs, you know what I'm saying? Them Carolina bugs is they serious out there, joint. So, you know what I'm saying? As soon as I get out the truck, I'm getting bit up. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a long, 24 hours. So, you know what I'm saying? I get set up, you know what I'm saying, do all that. You know what I mean? Rapping with the guys. So one of our pre-track day rituals is, if you haven't ate yet, if you already ate, that's fine. But we usually all pull up some chairs. We all sit either, under somebody's canopy or just, we all link up, whether it's my bike, or somebody else's, and we just sit down and chop it up. Just talk about, life, how we all doing, catching up with each other, because, some of the guys don't live in the same state as us. So, catching up with them, and just talking bike, talking about what we there to work on, what's the plan. Like for me, I had a crash at New Jersey Thunderbolt CCS race weekend. So my thing was, to get my confidence back up, and just be able to just get that cutthroat mentality that I have, just get it back. So, so we do that. I had my little cigar, I had me a little White Claw. So at one point, what I'm saying, the guys was like, well, I'm tired, so I'm gonna take it in. So I ended up probably staying up for about another hour, just catching up on some NBA highlights, what I'm saying, some motorcycle, MotoGP racing, stuff like that. So at this point, it's about 12 o'clock, and sorry, it's about midnight, and I'm getting ready to turn in. And I look down the street, man, and these other track folks, man, they got their whole family there, man. I think they was some Hispanic folks. Man, they was having a whole block party, man. I'm talking, they had the music on. You know the bachata. Sorry if I disrespected. But they had a bachata playing, man. They was dancing in the street, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, like, where we at? I was a little jelly because I wanted to join in, but I'm like, man, let me lay down. So they probably partied for at least another hour. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and drink me another White Claw so I can make sure I fall asleep, you know what I mean? So wake up in the morning, man, they up early. The kids walking around, they loud. And I'm like, bruh, real talk, man, that's kind of like bad track etiquette, man, because, when you're talking about being on these tracks, for, essentially 8 hours every 40 minutes, what I'm saying, minus like a lunch break in hot weather, like you need all the rest you can get. So, had we have been at another track, they would have shut that shit down. You know what I mean? Just, you can't be doing that, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, wake up in the morning, they up. So I'm already kind of grouchy because I probably only slept like 4 or 5 hours. It's already hot. I'm already sweating. You know what I mean? Of course I took a shower before I left the house, but you can't take no showers at the track. You know what I'm saying? COVID-19, shit like that. So we getting set up, man, just checking out the paddock, seeing what's going on. You know what I mean? Everybody getting up, getting set up, getting ready for the day. I had to go ahead and get me a little tire. Had to get me a fresh Pirelli SE1 rear. Shout out to Pirelli. They need to give me a sponsorship for as much damn money I done spent with them. But went through tech inspection, you know what I'm saying? The guy had told me my brake pads was kind of shot. I was like, yeah, I'm good. So then, we get ready to go out. We go out on the track. You know what I'm saying? I'm already feeling dehydrated. I'm already having a little mild cramps. So I'm just like, man, I hope this can turn to be a good day. You know what I mean? So we go out on the track, all four of us. Me, Phil, Mike, Carlton, and Birdie was there too. Shout out to Birdie. And so we go on the track, man, warming up. You know what I mean? I probably go about 2 laps, man, and then I come down the straightaway probably about 140, 50 miles an hour, and I go to downshift, and my shift rod comes loose. So I'm like, damn, bro. So here I am. I'm in 4th gear, and I can't downshift. So I just roll off the track, you know what I mean? Sat there for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Let the lady know that, I can come off. So go ride off the track. Now I'm already kind of frustrated because it's the same thing that happened to me at CCS. And, I told them that I couldn't run because my shift rod came off. So, sit down and just like really going to fix that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's dead heat outside. I'm in the sun, you know what I'm saying, trying to adjust the shift rod, get it on there right, have a man Phil check the joint out. And then I was like, you know what, man, old boy was right. Let me go ahead and replace these brake pads. See, the thing is, usually when we go through tech inspection, like, I try not to listen too much to what them dudes be saying because sometimes they just be trying to get you to buy shit. But my brake was like super spongy. So I was like, all right, let me just go ahead and change it. So I changed it. It felt real good, but I really needed to bleed the brake, man. it's a long process, man, when it comes with this bike stuff. So get to about the third session, and you know what I'm saying, I feel like I'm catching fire, man. But my man's in there, man. They was smoking me a little bit, man. Just coming out of the turns, just still trying to get that level of comfort. But man, I just couldn't keep up, man. I'm getting on the straightaway, I'm getting passed, I'm getting out braked. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, can I get my mojo back? You know what I'm saying? But low key, I kind of was thinking that something was wrong with the bike. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, damn, even if I'm not really that good in the turns, my shit should still be pulling on the straightaway. And I just felt like the joint was just kind of bogging out at a certain point. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? What can I do to pick up the pace, man? And what can I do to get my energy up, man? I was dehydrated as hell. And I'm like, I ate. I had breakfast, little frozen breakfast joint, plenty of water, Gatorade, banana, chips, granola, shit. I mean, what was next? Maybe I needed some crack or something, but damn. I just have no energy, man. I have no energy, man. I was just cramping the whole day. Like, that shit felt like I hadn't been on the track all year. You know what I mean? So, at that point, as soon as I come off the track, man, I don't want to debrief about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sitting back, and I got the little fan, the house fan that I done bought. I got that shit sitting right in between my legs, blowing in my face. I'm just trying to cool off. You know what I mean? So at this point, man, just continuing to be frustrated with myself because, you know what I'm saying, my shift rod is loose, and then I'm seeing another part of my rear set. That's what you put your feet on. My rear set is loose in another spot. I'm like, come on, dog. Like, this is kind of like the shit that I preach on to everybody is, the pre-maintenance, preventative maintenance. And here I am, my shit falling apart. So I'm like, all right, man, you got to practice what you preach. So now, instead of me just chilling back trying to cool off, I got to spend my whole lunch going around the bike to make sure that, everything is good, because you mess around and go out there, some shit fall off and you at high speed, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a good look. Crashing on the track, it's not as bad as being crashing on a street, but it can be, you know what I'm saying? When you crash on the street, 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit something. You're going to hit a barrier, another car, a curb, maybe a person, a deer or something. On a track, it's just maybe grass. It may just be some really deep gravel and sand, or like an air fence, a barrier, you know what I mean? But, I'm frustrated now, man. So now I'm riding frustrated. So I'm getting on the track, and I'm like, all right, I got to catch up with my men, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going out with them. I'm going out first, or I'm going out second out of 4. And I'm pushing real hard. I'm pushing. I'm coming through the turns. You know what I'm saying? Got a body position looking crisp. I think I had almost dragged my elbow at one point. You know what I'm saying? Which would have been a good picture. But then I come back on that straightaway, man, and I'm getting pulled on. So I'm like, dog, what the fuck is wrong with the bike? So let me tell you what I think it is. Number one, I just thought I was rusty. You know what I'm saying? I think it just took me a little longer to really get back in the zone. Number two, I did some stupid shit. So when I was at Jersey and we raced, right? And I was like, man, I want to put some higher octane gas in there. So what I was usually doing was I would get, 93 octane gas. That's just regular shit you get at the pump. And I would get an octane booster. It's called Torco. So I would pour that into my 5-gallon gas can, put it in the bike. That'll put me 100 octane or more, which is my bike is tuned for that. Then the bike will run good. But my stupid ass come up there, and I'm like, oh, what's this 112? You know what I'm saying? So I put 112 octane in the bike. And I kind of knew something was up because the gas was like blue. You know what I'm saying? So some dude there was like, yeah, that's the gas that kind of goes in the cars. You know what I'm saying? But I had already had it in the bike. And I had already filled my gas can. But I was like, well, look, I mean, it's already in there now. So at this point, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. So, I had contacted the guys who put, Bryn Tune, is the folks that tune BMWs. And I told him what I did. And he was like, yeah, I would just stick with the pump gas because you're not going to gain anything from it. So 112 octane is leaded gas, you know what I mean, which is really does the horrors to the inside of your fuel and your motor in the long run. So, I just had to ride it out. I already had it in there, you know what I mean? So when I left, I had switched to the 100 octane straight from the pump, which is expensive. This shit is like almost $11 a gallon. You know what I'm saying? So I put the 100 octane in there. I couldn't really tell the difference at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't really doing that good at Jersey. But so when I came to NC Bike, you know what I'm saying, me and Mike had to run out and get gas. And I was like, well, shit, I only got like a quarter or maybe about 40% of my can was 100 octane. So I was like, well, if I already got 100 octane in here, maybe I could just fill the rest of it up with 93. It'll mix and I'll be all right. So with that happening, I think that doing that caused my bike to just kind of like bog out a little bit. So when I would get to like fifth gear, you know what I'm saying, I'd be really hitting the gas and the bike just it's just not going any faster. Because with the BMWs, it's BMW S1000 2013. Shout out to BMW. With the BMWs, like, the ECU, the computer on there is real sensitive to when you not doing shit the way you're supposed to. So now I'm just like, are my spark plugs fried? Do I need to drain the gas out? I'm probably going to do both. You know what I'm saying? I ain't changed the spark plugs in like 4 years. So I'm going to just go ahead and change it out. Anyway, so we back on the track. You know what I'm saying? Usually after lunch it's turn up time. This is when all the folks who may haven't came out yet, or the folks who was kind of taking it easy, now it's time to go. Usually, there's 3 sessions in the morning before lunch, and I think it's 4 in the afternoon. Usually, those last 3 sessions, so you got the 1 o'clock, 1, 2, the 1, 2, and 3 o'clock sessions is turn up time. That's when you giving everything you got for the day, because once you get to that 4 o'clock session, you pretty much either tapped out, you either already packing up, or you just out there BSing. So we get out, we running, you know what I'm saying? Pushing real hard. I mean, pushing really hard. I mean, I had passed maybe a few bikes and was just still getting pulled on the straightaway. But, I mean, at that point, I just realized, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. And I was still enjoying myself. So, had a lot of fun, man. Got a lot of good footage. You know what I'm saying? Watch my mans and them really lay down some hot laps. I was proud of them for that, man. I was like, shit, somebody better handle business. You know what I mean? Got to run with my man Phil, the Philistine. You know what I'm saying? Been having issues all season with his bike, man. Still had some slight issues this weekend, but not enough to stop him from, riding. So shout out to Phil for that, man. It was good to see him back out there. Got to ride with Nico in there, man. Shout out to Nico, that R1 fast, man. A lot of bikes, man. You know what I mean? BMWs, Ducatis, Suzukis, Hondas. You know what I'm saying? There was some Aprilias out there. Just all types of bikes, man. Everybody just doing their thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Now I will say there was a good bit of crashes. Not in our group. I'm in the advanced group. So I think it was a lot of crashes in the intermediate and the novice group. Which happens, man. Intermediate group is what the coaches will say is the worst group, is because in advance, it's like everybody, whether you're like super fast or not, everybody knows the rules. Everybody has good etiquette at some point. And for those who don't, you know what I'm saying, like I had a coach, he had stuffed me in the turn, which means he took the turn away from me, so I had to adjust. But I'm used to that because I race, you know what I'm saying? But if you do something like that in intermediate, you know what I'm saying, you can cause an accident. Or you could just that person that you cut off will have an attitude because they're not used to that. So intermediate is a combination of like the guys who just made it to intermediate from novice and the guys that are in intermediate that are trying to go to advanced, but they just not quite there yet. So, as a coach, you know what I'm saying? Now, granted, these coaches, these are guys that are volunteering, doing this shit for free, really getting free track time. You know what I'm saying? So they got to deal with that. So it's kind of hard to manage both, because if I'm out there in intermediate and it's a coach teaching me the lines, the correct lines to take, to maximize, my performance, and then you got 3 dudes zipping by spooking both of them. Now he potentially may have to leave me to go run their asses down and pull him off the track and tell them what they doing. Because at the end of the day, him teaching me, you know what I'm saying, what to do is not as important as stopping these three assholes for hurting themselves or hurting somebody else. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I was an intermediate for probably, what is it? I think it's 6 years, 5 or 6 years of my track career. I think I was an intermediate for probably 3 years. I was an intermediate. I was the last one out of my group, man, to get to advance. And it was so like disheartening because I felt as though like I was running some pretty decent pace, but apparently I just wasn't fast enough to go to advance. But when I finally got it, man, that shit was like graduating from college, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had my cap and gown on, you know what I'm saying? Threw it in the air. Like, that shit was definitely something to be proud about because after that, man, that's when I really evolved into the person I am now. All right, so we got one more session left for the day, man. Session 6 or 7. This is the 4 o'clock session. You know what I'm saying? I had my peoples pulled up on me. Yuri. Shout to Yuri. Shout to the Simmons family. Pulled up on me, man. They live down there in North Carolina. Showed up really at the last session of the day. But, I mean, he pulled up on me. I was happy about that. So, we get out there, man, and I'm like, look, I think he was a little mesmerized what was going on. So, I can definitely appreciate that. But so went out for the last session. There was only a handful of bikes. And I was like, man, I'm about to show out for my man out here. You know what I'm saying? So we go out for the first lap. We had an incident. A bike had dropped. So, we had to come off the track. And, the truck come out, pick the bike up. The rider was okay. And so after that, you know what I'm saying, all my other mans had went back. I guess they was done. So I was like, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go out. So I went back out. Now at this point, it's just me. You know what I'm saying? It's just me, a couple of guys I don't know, maybe a few coaches. At this point, that's why I was like, man, I'm probably about to run my best shit of the day. You know what I mean? So, I'm coming around the track, man. I'm flying. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming down the straightaway. I got my Jones pinned all the way back. I look over because it's the gate and you can see the people looking. So I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? We're going to push. And pushing, did about 3 laps. And I come down into to turn 1 and start braking. And I couldn't slow the bike down to the point where I had to run off the track again. And I was like, you know what? We done here. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my ass off the track, man, because I don't want to tear my shit up, man. I'm out here trying to perpetrate, you know what I'm saying, and then ran off the track. That could have been a costly mistake. So after that, I put my hand up. I look back. I'm like the only person on the track, dog. So I get off, and I'm like, let me put it up. You know what I'm saying? So went to holler at them. You know what I'm saying? They said they was going to roll out. I was like, thanks for coming, man. I was like, y'all didn't see me down there. He was like, yeah, we saw the flag. I was like, yeah, I ran off the track, man. So once the track day is over, man, to me, the worst part is everything you took out, you got to put it back. So you got to put your tent up. You got to put all your gear up. You got to put your table up, your fans. You got to put the bike up. You know what I'm saying? You doing all this. It's 90 degrees. The flies is biting you. You dehydrated. You tired. You hungry. Man, I'm about to spend another night in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I got to keep me my little Yeti cup of ice and 2 Red Bulls, and I'm gone. I'm going back home, man. So that's pretty much what it is, man. Your typical track day. You know what I'm saying? Now the biggest question is, how much does all this shit cost? I'm not gonna lie to you. Track days and racing, that shit, it's not cheap. I mean, typically a normal track day. Well, if you're not a member of that organization, I'm just going to throw out a median. So if you're not a member, a typical track day will run you anywhere between $200 to $275, depending on what organization. So you can add this up. So let's just say it's $250. So it's $250 for the track day. However much it costs you in gas from wherever you're driving from. So you got to calculate the gas. Then you got to calculate the gas you need to put in your bike. So rule of thumb is you fill your bike up to the brim, and then you bring a 5-gallon joint of gas as well. So that's at least premium gas. So let's just say for me, it costs me, what is it? What's gas right now? Like $3 and some change. So let's just say it's probably costing me like between $60 and $70. So you have enough gas for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to calculate your food. So this is whatever food you're going to buy, whatever junk healthy that you're going to have, you know what I'm saying? In your cooler, you need ice. At minimum 3-4 bags of ice. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to melt. I don't care what kind of cooler you got, that shit going to melt. You know what I'm saying? Then, let's just say you need a tire. You know what I'm saying? I needed a tire and I needed brake pads. Tire was $250. Brake pads was $160. Granted, I had a couple dollars in the stash, so I was prepared for this. And the most biggest expense of all is if you go out there and you crash your bike. You know what I'm saying? That shit can be thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So with all that being said, on a typical track day, let's say you don't need a tire, and you just need your bike, your gas, your food, and that's it. You'll probably spend about $400, right? So that's $400 a track day. You know what I'm saying? To go out that joint and ride for like 8 hours straight. I don't know about y'all, but when I was just doing track days, when I was doing track days and I was still riding on the street, I would do a track day on a Monday, and I probably wouldn't touch the bike until at least a week later, because my body was just so beat, so bruised, just so fatigued. It usually take me about 2 days to get my fluids back up. So, but that's how much it costs, man. But I mean, it is your life. I mean, you want to spend $400 or you want to blaze on the street for free? You know what I'm saying? Because right now, the way these motherfuckers driving on the road, no, I couldn't do it. The street scared me. I don't know. You call it what it is. But, so that's the typical day, man. So we're going to do another track day with Evolve, September 21st. It's a Monday at Summit, Maine. Pull up. I'm going to be promoting the shit out of this. This is probably going to be the last one for the year for me. I was going to try to go to Pit Race, but they talking about ain't no camping, and that's like a 5-hour drive. But that's it, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love the track, man. I would love to do it forever. I mean, for me, it's only contingent on who's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, things happen. You know what I'm saying? People have babies, injuries, other obligations, money get tied up, etc. Because the faster you get, the more money you spend. It's a money pit. You go out here and you race, and you get that one little podium, you get that one third place plaque, nigga, you putting everything on your fucking bike. You're going to do anything and everything to keep winning. So it's like either you win or you spend a bunch of money, or you lose, you're going to spend a bunch of money trying to win. Track days ain't that bad, but you're always going to want to go faster. You know what I mean? It's only maybe a handful of people that I know that aren't really that fast, and they're just genuinely cool with that shit. You know what I'm saying? But so that's what we're going to do, man. September 21st at Summit, Maine. I'm going to do me a little Facebook joint. I'm going to try to ruffle some feathers, man. Get some folks who ain't been on the track this year to come out, man. Just have a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? Very therapeutic, man. Just keep us out of trouble. And that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to wrap this up, man. I'm babbling now. So you just listened to episode 11, Track Days. You know what I mean? Subscribe, share. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Anchor. You know what I mean? I'm on Spotify, about 6 other sites. I'm on YouTube now, man. I start putting my shit on YouTube. I see it's a little easier to get them views. You know what I mean? So tune into the next episode, man. Captain out.